Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Join us tonight for what should be a rousing recap of a rousing episode of Raw. Unless the episode of Raw tonight is crap, and then our recap is going to be chock full of
there's only one thing on the Raw preview, so who knows?
What's on the let's just do Raw preview now, Larson. What's on the
All
Raw
right,
preview?
Here I'll scroll down. It's a sentence. What will be the fallout following the Royal Rumble?
Oh my God! Woo! What a rip! Yeah, they're probably still writing that one.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens on Raw tonight. Whenever they figure out what's going to happen on Raw tonight, they'll probably be writing it during the show.
Oh yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out. Number one, to everybody who joined us last night.
Oh man. So much fun.
The Royal Rumble. It was a blast. The Royal Rumble's always, like, in terms of WWE shows, probably the one we look forward to the most.
Oh, yeah.
The most fun. It's for people who have low attention spans. But I wanted to give a shout out also to our new patrons, because we picked up a couple new patrons.
Yes.
So I wanted to say hello to them. Keith Heisler and Casual Fox. And then also earlier in the week, Zachary Olson, Kyle Conlon, and Steven Randall. And most of them, because they're at the $5 or more a month tier on Patreon, they have access to Friendo Club TV, which is our slate of bonus content. We drop 4 of those every single week. 3 of them are live, so you get to hang out with us a little bit longer during the week, so that's fun. We do some gaming stuff. We talk non-wrestling stuff, and we talk also some wrestling stuff.
Yeah, power rank.
Power rank. So, with that being said, let's hop right into it. Larson, what's in the news?
So, over the last couple weeks or so, we've seen several reports about John Cena, potentially John, making an appearance at WrestleMania 37. However, John Cena commented on his Mania status in a recent interview with Sports Illustrated, and John said there was, quote, no mathematical way he could make it to this year's Showcase of the Immortals. Here's his explanation. Quote, currently, I'm in Vancouver shooting Peacemaker, the series for HBO Max. Given the quarantine regulations, if I were to leave Canada upon return, I would have to quarantine for another 2 weeks. Essentially, that would shut down production, strictly based on the letter of the law right now. There is no logistical way I could be there. We film now until July. What a hypocritical situation. I used to be very open about the fact that part-timers were just that. And here I am, 44 years old. I've become what I despise, as they say. This is kind of what it is.
What a hypocritical situation. Man.
He probably said that with a smile on his face, though.
Probably, yeah.
It was just a written interview. There's no video, but I could see him kind of saying that in a self-deprecating fashion.
No kidding. Hey, quick shout out to Dreezy Live. Just gifted 20 subs in our Twitch chat. Man, we'll read off those after the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We'll get back to that. Thank you so much, Dreezy. We really appreciate it.
So, I mean, I guess by the letter of the law, he's correct. Assuming there's no scheduled break in production between now and July, which could be a possibility. I don't know their production schedule.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he's in Canada between now and July at some point, it's pretty difficult for him to leave for basically a month.
Yeah.
Assuming you have to come here, you have to quarantine here for a while, do Mania, go back to Canada, quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah, all that sounds right. That's how it's been going there.
So
so you know what? I'm fine with Cena staying away from WWE, given how the match, the way the Firefly Funhouse match turned out. He was disappeared out of existence. He's been erased from WWE. You can still find him on the network. He hasn't been Chris Benoit, but yeah, no, I thought that was a fitting end. I thought that was a great end to his character. I mean, look, he's going to come back at some point. That's going to happen. He'll make some pithy he'll make some pithy reference to the Firefly Funhouse.
I know. I really hope they'd find like a really interesting kayfabe way to bring it back, rather than just him making some pithy comment about it on his first promo back, from his hiatus.
Have Bray summon him back. I mean, give Cena that little bit of supernatural rub. Have Bray, it has to be necessary for him to summon John Cena.
This is what it is. This is what you could do. So if Bray and Randy have a Firefly Funhouse match at Mania, I mean, this is all fantasy booking, have Bray summon John Cena, Randy's greatest nemesis and his career's greatest rival, to fight against Randy.
That's great.
John's not going to be there. John at Mania, so it's pointless to fantasy book, but that's how you could do it.
Well, no, dude, listen. Again, this is fantasy book, and that's actually the thing is that's actually entirely possible because it'd be a Firefly Funhouse type thing. So you could just green screen him. He's in Canada. He's on a set.
I was going to say
green screen him.
You could do like a Karate Man thing, like
that's exactly what you do. You do a Karate Man thing. You hire the guy from Impact who so expertly edited that. To edit the new Firefly Funhouse, and boom, you're in business. Yeah, they could totally do that given the nature of that. Will they? Probably not. But no, it'd be a great way. They don't care. I want them to care about bringing people in and out of existence in kayfabe at least. Man, come on.
Yes.
But while we might not be seeing Cena at Mania, WrestleVotes is reporting that the rest of the WWE locker room is looking forward to this year's WrestleMania after last night's Rumble, saying this, quote, "Source said the vibe of last night was the most upbeat locker room he's seen in a long while. This time of year usually does that," but also went on to say that the road to WrestleMania has real meaning this year, serving as a small light at the end of a dark tunnel. Fans being back, the return to normalcy, maybe, doing shows in different venues instead of just Thunderdome.
Yeah, I would think that would based on how the show went last night, the prospect of getting to wrestle in front of limited number of fans, even at Mania, that all has to boost morale, I would think. We got 20 more gifted subs from Destructoid.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Thank you, so Destructoid. That's so nice.
That's awesome.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Wow. Wow, man. You guys are great.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So, yeah, as WrestleVotes mentioned, it seems like this time of year, regardless, lift spirits because you're heading to the most important show of the year. I would think I would hope there be a sense of creative vitality backstage, trying to get out there and put forth the best Mania possible. Whether that actually comes across, whether it actually happens, who knows? But you'd like to hope,
Yeah.
And it'd be fun to be a part of that. I can see why that'd be fun.
Fightful Select has all sorts, and I'm just gonna talk about this one thing, but they have a bunch of Royal Rumble backstage sort of news and notes, just little things that are interesting. And so we definitely recommend you subscribe at FightfulSelect.com.
Yeah,
they're terrific. Subscribe. You get all these email form. They just you read all this great backstage stuff, and you can trust them. However, this was of interest, especially given that morale has been as high as ever following the Rumble. Fightful Select says, we're told Vince McMahon was not seen at the venue on Sunday, the Royal Rumble, that is, and has been missing several shows as of late. McMahon has been dealing with the passing of his brother Rodney. But yeah, Vince apparently was not at the Rumble. I mean, that doesn't mean he didn't help put it together,
I'm
et
sure
cetera, et cetera.
He was involved in some
I'm sure he probably decided who won all the Rumbles and stuff like that. But kind of interesting that, I mean, this is we've heard before that Vince has been out from several shows and stuff, but this is sort of the biggest show that I can think of recently that he was missing from. Yeah. Royal Rumble's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's a pretty massive deal.
So yeah, I mean, he lost his brother recently, that's to be expected. But it's Vince also. He's like a workaholic. So
yeah, no.
So yeah, we'll see how that affects things going forward.
Yeah. Speaking of someone who likes to work a lot, Jon Moxley.
John.
Okay, a few years ago, John wrestled more matches than anybody in WWE. Apparently, he's got another match coming up in New Japan Pro Wrestling because he made his shocking return to the promotion on Friday's edition of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Strong. To confront U.S. title challenger Kenta, and shortly thereafter is announced their long-awaited title bout will take place, new beginning, in the USA, February 26th. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. What's your early prediction on that one? Kenta's got to get that. Kenta's got to get that thing, right?
It's interesting they're doing that. They're having that show, like about a week prior to Revolution.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if Mox does drop the title. Now, if there's no reference on AEW about any of this, Mox defending the title. Then it kind of happened outside of their continuity, so they probably don't care if he loses. Just the impression, because they'll probably have a title match against Kenny at Revolution. That's my guess. So, if he goes to Strong, loses the title, if they don't mention it during the build-up, all right, doesn't happen under our creative umbrella, not a huge deal.
Yeah.
If he loses clean. But, you see this and it always raises the prospect. Oh, maybe Kenta will show up on Dynamite to help promote that match, because
there's been a lot of chatter. Yeah.
My understanding is like everybody under AEW contract, like in North America, or at least United States, you're exclusive to AEW. You're not allowed to be on any televised wrestling show in the States that's not AEW. Now, I'm sure, Mox seemingly obviously got a waiver from Tony Khan for this match. So I don't know if part of that is maybe some cross-promotional stuff. That's probably wishful thinking on my part. But it'd be pretty cool. I'm not expecting it. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Khan seems to have no problem sort of playing, giving people waivers for certain things.
Gets it.
So
he totally gets it.
It's always like, with their contract situation, it's not like WWE. It's like he has a certain limits that he won't cross. So, he had made reference to limiting, because I think it was the COVID situation, limiting some wrestlers from doing some indie shows because there were some COVID scares. But for big stuff like this, and especially to keep his huge names happy, it's not shocking to see like this. We're in a different situation right now.
Yeah. And also, if you want to kind of extend an olive branch, if you will, to New Japan about potentially working together at some point, this is another way to do it.
And there's been so much chatter, like Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega both, talking it up on Twitter. What's his face? Tama Tonga has been endlessly talking about this stuff. Like,
just the new being the elite. The Young Bucks were talking crap about Bullet Club 2021. So. Oh
wow, yeah. So yeah, it feels like it would not shock me if we got some sort of cross promotional stuff in this year alone. Speaking of New Japan, New Beginning Night 1. It was New Beginning in Nagoya. Is that right? Yeah. So yeah, I thought that is a fun show. I thought it had two absolutely terrific matches. Tanahashi versus Takagi. And Ospreay versus Kojima.
And they're both really fun.
A bunch of goofiness, too.
Yeah, that opening tag match was pretty silly. Okada is just having fun at this juncture.
He is like strictly like this is even more vacation Okada than vacation Okada was. Like it's like, I swear it feels like it would not be out of the realm of possibility for him to challenge for the King of Pro Wrestling provisional title.
Oh, imagine reviving his feud against Tanahashi for the never open weight championship. Who'd have thought that years ago,
Yeah, no, I know. And it does, with all the chatter about Ibushi wanting to combine the Intercontinental and the heavyweight titles into one title, Takagi is great. I mean, he's fantastic.
He's a phenomenal wrestler. Yeah, he is.
But it's clear that that's probably going to happen by putting that the never title on Tanahashi, who's a big name. So yeah, you can see those things kind of lining up. Bringing the U.S. title back into the Kenta's going to have that probably. They'll probably elevate that.
It'll be interesting to see with the U.S. title if they use that primarily as top title for.
The U.S.
Strong,
promotion,
whatever they end up doing, their U.S. promotion post pandemic, or if it'll travel between here in the States and New Japan in Japan for their major shows. Who knows?
That could be. That sounds like a likely scenario. I don't know. I know. I got to start checking out Strong. I meant to check out Strong. That was one thing I didn't watch. I watched a bunch of. We talked about this a bit on the stream, but a bunch of the GCW Fight Forever stuff. And they just looked like they were having a blast out there in that little tiny venue.
It was a really small place. I saw a couple clips on Twitter, and it looked like a itty bitty little place.
Yeah, it was the most random. I mean, it's 24 hours straight of wrestling. I mean, it was what a great idea. And there were a couple of roadblocks here and there, a couple of bumps in the road, maybe. Hiccups, but beyond that, it was just a lot of fun stuff. I mean, I barely scratched. I watched like maybe 2 hours total of the 24 hours, but I got to see some new wrestlers that I never heard of before. It was pretty cool stuff. But yeah, no, I also watched on Saturday. I watched New Beginning in Nagoya. I know you watched this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, the cool dude. I love these 2.5 hour shows.
Oh yeah, it's 2 hours and 24 minutes.
You know, I mean, that's great. I mean, New Japan, typically with their shows anyways, they have like, you know what, a couple of headliner matches, and the rest are like these massive tag matches, sort of set up other stuff. But yeah, we can go through some of this stuff if you want to.
Yeah, sure thing. So the first bout was Yujiro Takahashi and Evil taking on. Of course, they were joined by the spoiler, Dick Togo.
Oh man, the spoiler.
Taking on Kazuchika Okada, Yano. Fun match. Yano doing his typical Yano stuff. At one point, Okada was playing air drums in the middle of the match. And
then they were playing drums on Dick Togo's back.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
At one point. That was hilarious.
Yano rolls up Takahashi, Tokyo Pimp, after a low blow to get the W for Team Chaos.
I appreciate that they're setting up a feud between Okada and Evil. And like right now, Okada is basically just doing comedy stuff, and Evil's still trying to be evil and like, you know, oh, menacing guy. It kind of just doesn't fit, but whatever.
No. After that, LIJ taking on Sonata Bushi. Hiroshi Takahashi, Tetsuya Naito taking on the team of Kota Ibushi, Master Wato, Sho, and Hanma. Of course, Sonata Ibushi later on in the month have a title match, as do Takahashi and Sho. At the end, Sho picks up the win for his team, pinning Bushi after a shock arrow.
After that, we had the goofiest match of the night. This was just silly. Great-O-Khan versus Tenzan, and it was like literally 80% just Mongolian chops. Which,
I mean, that was a stipulation that if whoever lost couldn't do that move ever again.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're banned from doing it the rest of your career, get them in while you can.
Get them all out of your system.
Yeah, exactly.
Get them all out of your system.
There must have been 200 Mongolian chops in this match.
Now the crappy thing is, Great-O-Khan is probably going to incorporate that, like, you know, a lot more into his arsenal.
Yeah, he has to now. He was doing it before, but now he has to do them twice as often.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, he won with his awesome claw to the face and his face dominator. That's my favorite move, man.
The mind meld, essentially.
The mind meld dominator, exactly.
Remember.
After that, we had probably the match of the night: Will Ospreay versus Satoshi Kojima. Man, I don't know. Kojima's like, what, 50-plus years old?
I think it's 50. Exactly 50.
Okay, he's 50 years old?
I think so.
Man. And it was a no DQ match, which obviously they don't do a whole lot of in Japan. Or in New Japan anyways. But, man, yeah, you have it here, one of your notes here. Holy shit, that lariat spot through the ladder.
That was crazy.
Kojima follows the brain buster on a pile of chairs, get to 2. I literally, there were multiple moments in this match, and it was just Ospreay bumping like crazy, trying to make Kojima look like he's 29 years old, right? And so I'd pause it, and, you know, like I said, Lacey was there watching with me, and I just rewind him like, hey, look at this. And it was that spot. It was the
ladder spot.
It was the ladder spot. And then wasn't there like, I forget. I'll have to go through your.
There was that spot where Ospreay powerbombed Kojima. I didn't take a whole lot of notes. Ospreay powerbombed Kojima through the table set up in the corner. That table just basically exploded.
Yeah. It might have been that one too. Oh, it was the bit where Ospreay went through those chairs. Like they were all set up. Like he was about to do something to Kojima, and then Kojima countered and put him through those chairs. It was just great.
The finish saw Ospreay kick Kojima's arm during a couple lariats, goes for a springboard. Kojima hits him with the lariat midair. Will responds by throwing a chair at Kojima, hitting him with the hidden blade into the chair, and then another one, a nasty-looking one, to the back of Kojima's head. Follow that Stormbreaker to get the win. But as you said, Ospreay was bumping all over the place, taking all sorts of crazy bumps, trying to make Kojima look awesome.
Yeah, and he really
was
did.
Successful. Yeah.
This next match I thought was wildly fun. Shingo Takagi versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Man, my knees hurt watching this match because that's all it was. It was, you know, Tanahashi's for a while now. They've sold his bad knees, and every story that's told these days is basically some bad guy targeting his knees. And so he was going after Takagi's knees here in response. Yeah. And so it was just a ton of like dragon screw leg whips over and over
moves.
again.
Yeah. I mean that's a huge part of Tanahashi's offense is employing the dragon screw leg whips. Who could withstand more shots to the knee? There's when Shingo hits him with Made in Japan, that looked nasty. It looked like Tanahashi landed right at the top of his head.
Yeah, that looked really ugly. Yeah, that scared me for a second.
That could have been bad. He shook it off. Ends up getting the win after countering Last of the Dragon to a sling blade. Sorry, follows with a high fly flow. Dragon suplex. That gets him a 2. Goes back up. Another high fly flow. Really fun match though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really good.
One other note here.
Yeah.
At last night's Road to New Beginning show.
Kind of a spoiler alert if people wait a day to watch this stuff. So like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe longer than that.
All right, Jay White came back. Attacked Tomohiro Ishii at the conclusion of the show. So I guess maybe his profile on New Japan's website will go back up.
They'll restore that. So yeah, I mean it had been reported before that. I think the Wrestling Observer mentioned that, and then he confirmed it again on Twitter. He has signed a 7-year. Was it a 7-year deal?
Yeah, I think so.
In 2018. So he's going to be around.
He's got 4 more years on that then.
Ton of years, yeah.
Yeah. Someone whose contract is soon to expire. Steve, who is this?
Cesaro. He's going to be a free agent shortly after WrestleMania. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Not quite the landscape now that it was maybe a year ago.
Yeah. Wrestling Inc. had that story, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, whether he sticks around, whether he explores other opportunities. I'm sure there'll be a pretty significant market for his talents because he's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's one of those things where, like you've noted, he's been a tag specialist for the past 5 years or something. And he's always the guy. He's always the guy people point to. It's like, hey man, this guy should be doing a lot more. And it all depends on what his priorities are. If he's unhappy with the role that he's been playing, then he might go seek other stuff. If he's happy, I mean, I don't know, man. The guy, he's on TV most of the time. Is he ever in a big title scene? Maybe not. I mean, usually he's in a tag title scene if he's in anything. But I don't know. From my point of view, he's had a really damn good career by anybody's measure in WWE. Is it as good as some fans of his would like it to be in terms of the recognition and the title stuff and the big matches? Maybe not. But it's up to him. I think that he's got any wrestler would love to have a Cesaro career.
Oh yeah. For sure. Let's talk about CM Punk. Did you know he's coming back to TV? Maybe, Steve.
Yeah, dude, he re-signed with WWE, right? Is that right?
No. Stephen
Amell. What promotion?
Stephen Amell Wrestling. So Stephen Amell took to
SAW, nice.
Yeah, took to Twitter yesterday to post, quote, "Welcome CM Punk to Heels on Stars. He was a little rusty in the ring yesterday, but I assured him it was just like riding a bike." Yeah, it was a picture of Stephen Amell, CM Punk in a wrestling ring. So Heels, Stars has this TV show about wrestling with Stephen Amell. So I don't know if it's CM Punk joining as some sort of consultant advisor or if he's going to be actually on the show. I haven't seen anything else about it. But that's pretty cool.
He's all about that acting now, man. He was in that has been one horror movie or 2 horror movies.
He's been
now.
a couple. I think he's been in a couple.
I think he's been in a couple of them. So right now, according to the Heels Wikipedia page, number 1, the show is about 2 brothers and rivals, one a villain or heel in the ring, the other a hero or face, play out in scripted matches as they war over their late father's wrestling promotion, vying for national attention in small town Georgia, starring the aforementioned Stephen Amell, Alexander Ludwig. I don't know any of these other people.
So back in October,
and Phil Brooks.
Wow, 2017. Wrestling Inc. had a story about CM Punk doing a screen test screen test for a role in this show.
Yeah, it was given the order back in February of 2017.
Wow.
Oh, it was paused in October of 2020 after Amell sustained a back injury.
Ah.
Oh, wow. The injury, it says here, the injury came after Amell had recovered from COVID-19. Yeesh.
Wow. So,
I know this guy. This guy was one of the dudes from The Wires in this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Chris Bauer. I remember seeing him in the 4 seasons of The Wire that I watched. Oh, James Harrison's in this. The football player. That's hilarious.
That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I know any of these other faces here? I don't know who that guy is. And she looks vaguely familiar. Kelly Berglund. Oh, she's been in a bunch of Disney stuff. Maybe I saw it back in the day when the kids used to watch that stuff. So cool, right on. Heels. I'll watch that. We'll do some reviews. We'll do some reviews on Heels, man.
Yeah, maybe we'll review the whole first season.
There you go. Anyways, is that it for the news?
Yeah, Raw preview again. Will be the fallout following Royal Rumble. That's it.
Hold on, man. I'm gonna get to the real bottom of
this. There was
Raw
absolutely
preview.
nothing on WWE.com when I checked right before we started. This was on WWE's Twitter.
Yeah, no, I'm going to WWE's Twitter right now too. Here we go, WWE. All right, here's the official word. Nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing.
That's it.
There's nothing.
That's it. Let's answer some questions.
All right.
Anthony, if you could book a mini rumble of food mascots, which ones are in? Who goes over? Who is the Iron Man? Who gets most eliminations? The winner is the Burger King.
Yeah, it's the Burger King. You don't want to give any shine to Mac tonight? He is a moon.
He is a moon, yes.
Like a celestial being.
Yeah. He could be the Iron Man. Moon's in the sky.
Big men never win rumbles.
That's true.
He'll get most eliminations.
The moon's in the sky day or night. Sometimes you can't actually see the moon, but it's there.
It's there, yeah. Oh, so Iron Man. Okay, yeah, good.
Iron Man. Most eliminations. Grimace.
Wow, he's heavy McDonald's presence.
The powerhouse of this Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Who's the up and coming guy who will probably win it next year?
Has there been a newer?
I feel like Jack in the Box is the most. He's been around for like 10 years or so. The newer Jack in the Box campaign. I feel like that's Jack.
All right.
Del Taco has a dude on their Instagram feed. He's not like really a mascot. He's just a guy who does like the funny thing that he does.
Oh, all right.
I can't really explain it. I think he's supposed to be like an influencer. It's like a gag, like he's an influencer.
Gotcha. B-Man Patrick Sparks says, who will be the number one contender Elimination Chamber match? Who will be in it? Sorry for SmackDown Men's and Raw Women's.
So it's going to be
people?
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Who else is on SmackDown?
Big E.
Big E's going to be in it. Seth's going to be in it.
Who else is on SmackDown? Cesaro. Nakamura, assuming he's not actually challenging Reigns for the title.
Nakamura, and then maybe Dolph. I know he's a tag champion, but he was there at the Rumble last night.
Otis will be in there.
Oh, yeah. Otis.
All right, Raw Women's. We got Charlotte.
Rhea.
Shayna
Nia.
Yeah, Lacey Evans probably.
Lacey Evans. And Alexa, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, that's 6. 6 for each. The Wild Dude come up with a bracket of 8 mixed match challenge teams, with each team having one main roster person and a NXT UK person. My team would be Dolph versus Tony Storm.
I'm not going to do 8 because that's too many.
Let's each pick one team.
Let's each pick one great team.
Who we think would be the best team possible.
All right. You want to pick first, or do I pick first?
You can pick first.
I'm going to go with Raquel Gonzalez.
Oh, good pick.
Raquel Gonzalez, and I'm going to pair her on main roster. Well, you get first pick of main roster. How about that?
All right. I'll go Drew McIntyre.
Oh, wow. Good pick. I'll have Raquel Gonzalez team up with, you know what? I'm going to do this. Instead of picking a main roster, I'm going to go with a legend. I'm going to go with Kevin Nash. Because they're both diesel.
That's good. That's real good. All right, hold on one second. Let me pull up the roster here.
Who did you choose again? Oh, you chose Drew.
Drew McIntyre.
And whom?
Ideally, I know Rhea Ripley is probably technically on the main roster now, but until she shows up on Raw tonight, she's still NXT. So give me Drew and Rhea Ripley.
Okay, good. White Brownie, with both Daniel Bryan and Nakamura having killer promos leading up to the Rumble and calling out Roman, do you see one of them getting that spot, or does Vince already have somebody else in mind?
Nakamura will, if he has a feud with Roman, it'll be on the build to Mania, not at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan, I don't know. I mean, the more I think about the primary reason I chose him to win the Rumble is because he was at top of the betting odds. Like, I see the story there, but at the same time, he's on his way out. You know, this is his last year as a full-time wrestler. He's part of the creative team. I know Edge is too, but still. Mm-hmm. And it seems like Daniel Bryan's primary motive on the way out the door is put as many people over as possible.
Yeah. Those are all good reasons. He's got, and his story is so, it's actually perfectly fit for the head of the table stuff. It really is. Mm-hmm. I mean, they really play up Daniel Bryan's family stuff. He always looks like he's one step closer to being retired. They could do a career match. There's a lot you could do there. I chose him for the reason you mentioned, betting odds. The reason, the storyline ideas, and the fact that look at who Roman is facing. I mean, Jey Uso's kind of different, but he's a smaller dude compared to Roman. Kevin Owens kind of fits the same Daniel Bryan mold. It's just Daniel Bryan has had a bit better of a career than Kevin Owens, so it makes sense. He's the WrestleMania. He'd be the WrestleMania guy. It makes sense. A lot of Daniel Bryan makes sense. The only reason I actually didn't choose Brock Lesnar, however, is because Dave Meltzer said, like, I don't know, within the past week or so, that Brock wasn't signed with the company. Plus, there were no plans for him to be at the Rumble.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, then it's clearly not going to be him. And I think it was after they had, like, Meltzer had said, they've chosen a winner, but Brock's not scheduled to be at the Rumble. Now, I know sometimes you take various wrestling journalists with a grain of salt, and Meltzer's no different. Yeah. But to me, I kind of figure that, okay, well, yeah, they could pull off a surprise, but I'm not willing to risk, I'm not gonna do that. So
yeah, and like I said yesterday, I think for me it was down to Bryan and Edge, and if we had a more clear cut, if there was a winner of that Daniel Bryan AJ match, that would have whoever won that match. Like Daniel Bryan had won that match, I would have picked Edge. It was literally down to that.
Oh, if it was a straight up, if it was a straight up 1-on-1 and Daniel Bryan won on the road to the Rumble,
I would have picked Edge to win.
Because
I would have thought that AJ would have eliminated Daniel Bryan and crushed his Mania dream in his payback for beating him on SmackDown, and Edge would have wanted to win because I figured AJ was going to eliminate one of them.
For me, it was more. I still might have gone with Daniel Bryan even if he won, just because he's lost so much lately, and that to me is like, okay, they're showing us that he can win to make it believable that he'd win the Rumble. So I probably still would have gone with Daniel Bryan, but who knows? The Wild Dude. Oh no, we already did him. Let's see here.
NJWP, predict your night 1 and night 2 main events for WrestleMania. Night 2
is gonna be the Tribal Chief. It's gonna be Roman versus. I think it might be Roman versus Brock. I could see that being the case.
Night 1 will probably be Edge and Drew.
Edge versus Drew McIntyre. Yeah.
Although night 2, I saw this on Twitter. My apologies for not remembering who posted this, but night 2 is on the 11th. That'd have been 10 years to the day. I think he had to retire.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's going to be the thing then.
Yep.
Because he'll probably win that title. Let's see here.
It's either 10 years to the day he had to retire, 10 years from his last Mania match, or his Mania 27 match.
Your mom ate my acid.
Oh, no. April 11th was the day he retired.
There you go. Would Going in Raw ever consider collaborating with Dave Knows Wrestling? I do not know who that is, but we can research and maybe reach out. That's a possibility.
Epic Quest, what do you think the future of Royal Rumbles will hold when legends and other big-name wrestlers retire? How do you think they will stay exciting, or do you think they will become less special over time because we have seen it all as far as Rumbles go? No, I don't think they'll become less exciting. I mean, having the debuts, the returns are always fun, but I think more than anything else, Rumbles offer a storytelling platform that's different than anything else WWE does in terms of weaving stories in and out over the course of one long match. And when done right, like the Women's Rumble last night, it's fantastic. And it's mostly because of how they told the story of the match. I mean, it's cool seeing Victoria and Jillian Hall and Rhea, coming from NXT. But it's all how they tell the story of the match itself. That's what still makes it exciting to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's the people that are doing the hard work right now. It's fun to see them tell stories. There was that side by side shot that somebody took of Charlotte's appearance in NXT when Bianca was trying to get in that mix, and then they put that next to the same three people in the Royal Rumble on the next, on the bigger stage a year later. That kind of stuff, to see progression, stories, if there's been a brand split since the last time two people met up and we get to see them together. That's what I like. I mean, I like all the little stories that they tell, and I think that's stuff that they can just keep on telling and telling and telling. I don't think that'll ever stop happening.
Nope. Connor says, let's say it isn't obvious who Edge faces at Mania. Who would you book in the chamber matches for Raw and SmackDown? So we already did SmackDown, so we need to book a Raw chamber match for number one contender. So you'd have
Riddle,
Randy,
Lashley, Randy, AJ.
That's 3.
Sheamus and Keith Lee.
So we need one more.
That's 6.
Wait, Randy? Who'd you say first?
Oh, crap. Riddle, Lashley.
Oh, I didn't get Riddle. Okay,
sorry,
then that
Riddle,
is 6.
Yeah.
All right.
One last point about the Rumble, too. My favorite thing is a Rumble. New Japan Rumble got me into Wrestle Kingdom, the first one that I watched. You and I can go, once COVID's over or in the past or whatever, we can go to any high school gymnasium wrestling show.
If there's a Rumble, we'll have a good time.
If they have a Rumble, it's usually the funnest match of the show because it's like, there's some like veterans from whatever promotion that is, teachers, I guess. And then there's the students from the school with their, budget dollar store gimmicks coming out, wrestling as if they've been wrestling. They probably just started 2 weeks ago. It's so much fun. And they always tell little goofy stories. And that it's just bite-sized stuff, low attention span. Steve loves that stuff.
Yeah. Jason Lewis, with tomorrow being Groundhog Day, which day of wrestling would you like to experience every day, potentially for eternity?
What day of wrestling?
Yeah.
Would you like to experience every day?
When we went to WrestleMania 31, every day I get to see Seth cash in.
Oh, could you imagine? That's a great answer. The euphoria every day, getting that euphoric feeling. That'd be terrific. I like it.
Greg Morris, could the Fiend being burned alive allow for Cena to be released from whatever he is in? Have Bray do a promo mentioning that? That's a possibility too.
That's a good one. Him being burned alive might have opened up some doors there. That's good. I like that.
Danny says, so Orton's face was still messed up from the burns on Monday, but then at the Rumble, he's perfectly fine. What do you think is the kayfabe wizardry behind that?
Aloe.
He said first-degree burns.
Yeah, it's just some, a nice cream that he puts on his nose. He's
some
fine.
aloe gel, yes.
Some aloe gel, exactly. Noob and Company, do you think Asuka and Charlotte Flair's rivalry will go full circle at WrestleMania 37? No, I don't. Because
should. Asuka should get her win, but I have a feeling it's not going to happen. I
have no reason to believe that they have any interest in pursuing stories with Asuka. Yeah, and it sucks. It's terrible. They just seem to, they use her when they need her, and she does great work, like better work than 99% of the company. But I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why they think that she can only be used in a very limited manner. It's frustrating.
It really is frustrating.
As being a big fan of Asuka.
Yep.
But no, I don't think they're going to give her the kind of. I don't think that they're going to be. They don't know how to do that.
Anthony Tobias says, will we see Rhea show up for Raw, or does she have one more run in NXT? She's on Raw. I have a feeling
she's going to be on Raw. She's going to be on Raw.
I would assume she's going to be on Raw tonight, but who knows?
Let me ask you this. Steve here has a question.
Yes, Steve.
Is there anybody that appeared in the Rumble like Damian Priest? Is he a lock to be a Raw guy? Are they going to bring anybody to SmackDown? Santana Garrett. Because you're right, and that Raw needs the ratings boost. they're so stale lately. But
I would assume
just new talent is kind of like that's not really the problem.
Assume Rhea, is a shoo-in for Raw.
Feels like it, yeah.
Priest. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, there's good matchups. There's good matchups
like
for
a
him on
Raw
both shows.
guy.
He does,
but they also have like.
Why wouldn't you want a Damian Priest Baron Corbin feud for the next 6 months?
Can we get a Damian Priest, Baron Corbin dog food feud, please? A dog feud. Yeah, I mean, because they sort of have impressive big man with Keith Lee. They have a lot of impressive big men on Raw.
I mean,
they got to bring some of that
there
love.
too. Not that he ever actually shows off the impressive stuff he could do, but he's there.
Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah.
I feel like from a creative standpoint, Damian Priest would probably be better off on SmackDown.
Here's the annoying thing is that you and I could come up with like 50 great reasons to put him on SmackDown and like maybe one to put him on Raw. He's going to be on Raw. It's one of those things where it's like, man, he really should. He should be on SmackDown, but he's going to end up being on Raw.
Tim Morris, how do you save Aleister Black and Andrade from their creative black hole? Put them in interesting stories and have them get some wins. That's really it.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. Hold on a second. Breaking news.
What?
Go to Del Taco's Instagram account.
Oh, my goodness.
The Enforcer is on Del Taco's Instagram account.
Amazing.
Oh, that's amazing. That's terrific. That's so good. He put the link in the Twitch chat here. I love it. Oh, we got a new patron also, George Calloway.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, no, I think they'll probably put him on Raw just because they got 3 hours.
Oh, the Enforcer. That's so awesome.
Isn't that great? Yeah, Aleister Black and Andrade, dude. Look, I love both these guys. They're so terrific. Aleister Black to me is the most bizarre, absolutely. But him and his wife, him and Zelina Vega. I mean, at least they used her. But it's the most bizarre situation.
I know, man.
Where that dude, they put him in I don't know whose stupid ass idea it was to put him in a room for a year. But that was the dumbest gimmick for a guy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And even when he debuted, they had him in a tag team, a carryover thrown together tag team with Ricochet.
Yeah, and then they put him in a room for a year after that.
You have a clean slate with the guy. He looks like $1,000,000. He looks like the most legitimate guy on your roster. And you put him and he's a great wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And you put him in a room for a year. Man, that's up there with Bob Roode. It's up there with Roman Reigns for 4 years in terms of just missed opportunities and just bungled creative.
Mm-hmm.
That's bizarre to me, dude.
Panda Police Club, what storyline or potential storyline coming out of the Rumble excites you the most? They got Bianca Belair, that huge Rumble win. I want to see the follow-through. I want to see if they take it to its logical conclusion, her winning the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see her with I want to see Sasha and Bayley work their magic in terms of taking her to that next level, where she's undeniable. I want to see that. Like Bret Hart did for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see. Yeah. But beyond that, I want to see
I mean, right now, it's fairly unclear who Roman's going to face at Mania.
I'm really curious about. I want to see Edge and Drew square off, man.
Start mixing it up a little bit.
Absolutely, for sure. Let's see here. Luis asks, "How would you book a Carlito comeback angle?" He's just really frustrated that he's not allowed to spit in anybody's face who isn't cool or who doesn't want to be cool. And people keep on taking the apple away from him. And he was a really funny dude, though. I really like Carlito. And then it was weird, like with Carlito, like he was hilarious, and then like he just stopped having personality.
Yeah.
He just shut down.
Yeah. Mr. Dope says Drew has wins over Brock, Randy, and now Goldberg. Is John Cena next? Well, as Cena would tell it, no. So I guess the question is Edge next?
I guess we'll find out tonight. Hopefully we'll find out tonight. Although I suspect they're going to make a big deal about the actual decision.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make a big deal about that. But you're right. Raw desperately needs Edge's ratings. They desperately need that. They need an infusion of something interesting.
They need an injection of something.
Because here's the thing. Edge versus Drew is way better than any of those 6 names we mentioned that could be in the Elimination Chamber. Mm-hmm. He's better than all that. And then over there on the other side, Roman versus any of those guys is great, you know? Really is.
Yeah. Totally. You know, they could do it might not be a situation where both chamber matches are necessarily number 1 contender matches. They could have a chamber match for the Raw Women's title. Have Charlotte win it there.
Last year they did it for they did a tag team elimination chamber, and then they did, I think, the SmackDown Women's title number 1 contender. No, it was the Raw because Shayna won it. Yeah, so it's you're right. You're absolutely right. It's entirely about they could do a 6-pack challenge at Fastlane. Roadblock? What is it? Fastlane?
Fastlane now.
Fastlane.
Or they could just do, you know, wow, how about this? Qualifying matches. Do like
tournament.
A little mini tournament.
Do a tournament.
Determine Roman's challenger.
Do a tournament. That'd be great. I don't like tournaments.
Tournaments are great.
Fetterman and Jim Brewster for Senate asks. I'll have to see who those people are. Making sure I'm okay saying that. How do you feel about Goldberg now? If this is a routine where he puts wrestlers over, but the actual dread he might win is still there, can make a biting combo.
I was on the edge of my seat. I'll tell you what. I was anxious during that match for 2 reasons. One, I wanted Drew to win because I didn't think Goldberg with the title was going to be that intriguing television on the road to WrestleMania. 2, I didn't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Can we talk about the balls on the Enforcer for choosing Goldberg to win the Rumble? That was amazing. Can we come up with a title to reward the ballsiest choice?
Okay,
on any skit of certain predictions?
Let's call it the Manic title.
Yes, the Manic title. I love it.
You get it. You earn it when you put a ton of confidence points on a match that's far from certain, and you get it.
I love it. What a great idea. What a great idea.
I still know I put 6 confidence points on Manic to retain.
It's funny because it was sort of like towards the beginning part of the match that we all realized what a huge choice that was for you to make. I'm like, wait, you really have 6 confidence points? It's the X Division title. They like to flip these winners all the time.
And I was like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, man, that's great. This is a good question from Jonathan, the Steve Hunter. Are old men the modern era heels? Yeah, man, I feel like old men, they're like, you know, I mean, kind of in life too, but just in wrestling for sure. These days in WWE, you old people are disrespectful. Oh no, the boomer is coming back.
Here's Greg Morris had a good question about where is it? So since every Roman title defense has been a stipulation match, is Daniel Bryan the best choice for his Mania opponent? The story could be Roman able to beat someone clean. Daniel Bryan's wanted to do a hair versus hair match for a very long time. They could a hair versus hair match.
That's so goofy. Yeah, all Roman's matches are like stipulation matches.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I still think a career match would be good because then Daniel Bryan can go away, be dad, and then just come back. They'll just write him back somehow.
Come back on AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, there you go. What's Daniel Bryanson doing in the? Bryan Danielson.
What's the American Dragon doing in the Impact Zone?
There you go. Yeah, he debuts in Impact. Boy, that'd be a hell of a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Anyways, Twitch chat, stick around. We'll answer some more questions. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.